Good evening everyone and welcome back to IG8Live Esports. So this evening we're once again live with SLIPSTREAM Racing League for the Sunday division, and it is for round 10 here at the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian Grand Prix. We already got cars heading out on track here in qualifying 1. Of course it's going to be our usual full qualifying session, and then we get straight into the 50% race just after that. So let's just get on board with someone currently out on track. In the meanwhile that they're doing that, they're just getting a few things set up on screen here. Now, as we guys usually, I think most of you would already know, here at Austria, one of the shortest laps that they're going to be having as part of a race itself here. So that's what I think it's going to be like a 36 lap race here. So it should be quite interesting as well. A lot of straights for these guys to deal with, some interesting sharp turns as well. So it should prove for an interesting race and a lot of overtaking as well. We'll see how well it actually goes through. A bit of a run down into turn 1, not actually too long, so they're going to have to be a bit careful in terms of that as well. But let's see how it goes. Good evening there to Beefy and Mikey for joining on the chat. Thanks to those guys for joining on there. We will be getting an update on the weather situation for the session in just a bit. So let's get a few details up on here. I don't think we need tires on, being it is qualifying 1. Everyone's going to be running on the soft tires there on their out laps at the moment. So we're going to be waiting for some hot laps to start to come on in. I think we're on the Walker here at the moment on his current lap. And according to Beefy, they're going to be cloudy but dry race. So it is going to be a bit cloudy. Now that does mean that the track temperature here is going to be a bit on the lower side than expected. That might actually reduce the grip level of the cars on track. So they might have to actually be just a bit careful into some of these turns, as it is a bit of an elevation change getting through this track as well here at the Red Bull Ring. So going to be quite interesting to see who actually takes the win on this one, and who's going to be qualifying for provisional pole here at the end of qualifying itself. So let's see how we are currently getting on with that. So we got a few cars still on out laps here. We got a few cars currently on their qualifying laps. So let's see how well this all goes, as we should start to see some laps come in here pretty shortly with just over a minute in terms of lap time. So quite interested to see how close the gaps are going to be between drivers as we get on through that. We will of course have a look at the updated standings after last week's race at Italy. So that's quite an interesting one as well. So let's see what that's going to be looking like. We already got a lap time in there from NTXJ there at 1 minute 4 seconds. So not too bad so far. So 104.5. Let's see how well that stands, as we have Walker and a few other drivers about to get across the line. And let's see where Walker goes. He goes fastest at 104.4, a tenth faster already. So already getting into a bit of a competitive situation here in terms of lap times already, as these seem to already have a lot of practice on this track. So we're going to switch this on over to someone else currently on a lap at the moment here. We got Christian here about to get across the line, but on invalidated lap, so will not get a lap time on that one. They will have to unfortunately try that one again. Aston Martin here with Cody at the moment. Let's see where he stands. Currently in sector 2, getting around. As I said, a very short lap around the track here. So very interested to see what these guys are able to do in terms of getting through qualifying 1 here. Remember, we have 18 drivers currently in. We should have 2 more drivers join on during the middle of qualifying at some point. So let's see how many drivers will be able to make it over into qualifying 2. And usually it is a top 15 out of 20. Of course, we have 18, so let's see how that works out as we get on through. That's a Cody now goes second fastest at 104.498, 200th of a second, exactly slower than what Walker did. So NTXJ goes down to third now. We got Anton down with a 104.6. He's a 10th down from NTXJ there, who's 30. He's down to P4. Vintage just went 114.1. Not the best of time. We'll have to try that again. Let's see if that works out. Mikey now goes a 105.0. Not overly a bad time, but it is a few tenths off from where his fellow drivers are currently at. Let's see if that's going to work out. We got DXT Matty here, just went into the top 3 and with a 104.511. Not a bad time there in the McLaren. Almost loses the car a bit as he gets off that lap as well. So going to get an in lap, getting back into the pits possibly there, and maybe try another lap depending on how this goes. We got a lot of 104s on track here right now, so getting quite a bit competitive with what's happening. We're on with Draft here in the Williams. He's about to get across the line here now. Let's see what he can do as he now goes onto the top spot on the board there. 104. 4.3. He's already a tenth faster than what Walker did. So pretty impressive lap from him so far. Might hold up pretty well going down to the end of qualifying. I think Chris might be the next driver possibly to get across the line. Let's see where he is at in the Aston Martin. His teammate currently third on the grid here for qualifying 1. He's currently trying to get through sector 2, about to get into sector 3. Looks like he might be having a bit of trouble on this lap. Let's see how it does go for him though. We got Tucker getting out on an out lap right now. A few other cars still in the pits, but should be getting out very, very shortly. So let's see what's going to happen in that case. Hopefully we do have a completely full grid before the race start does approach. And as you can see, still a bit cloudy here even in the qualifying session itself. Chris goes a 105.2. Vinci still with his 107 right now, 0.8. Needs to improve on that time. And I think we're going to switch this on over to Tucker currently on his out lap. And he's about to get started on his lap here right about now. So let's see where the Haas driver will be at the end of this current qualifying lap. 11 minutes and a half or so remaining here in qualifying 1 to close this off of a total of 18 minutes. So still quite a lot of time. And the Haas driver already invalidates a lap here, which you wouldn't expect to be that easy to do, but it can happen. Just depends on how hard these guys are pushing on through. Christian there in the Alfa Romeo trying another lap here. Let's see, still on an out lap though to get started with that. Let's see if that's going to work out for him. But so far so good in qualifying, or qualifying times from the top of the board coming all the way down there to Anton and P8. Looking pretty good on those 104s. Top 8 drivers in it. We got Chris in a 105, got Vintage there 107. Not too bad off. So we know Tucker is invalidated his lap. He's going to have to get another lap going if he does want to make a good qualifying time. Of course, this is all about getting over into qualifying 2 at this point. So they gotta make it into the well and into the top 15. I would say, just to be safe, make it into the top 10, because things do tend to change quite a bit getting down to the end of qualifying as well. So that's Christian there invalidating his lap as well. So he's gonna have to try this once again. Chirpy down at the bottom here. Let's see what he's up to in a Red Bull. A few new drivers on the grid in terms of me on stream here with them. I think it's going to be quite an interesting race as well, with it being just a bit cloudy but still being dry and absolutely no rain. But we never know, maybe a little bit of drizzle might actually surprise us. Who knows what's going to happen down at the end of the race. We'll see what that situation does bring, if it does come to that. It depends, because the weather can sometimes change. Just depends what happens. And that is, of course, another invalidated lap there from the Red Bull driver on with Red Devil right now. Not having the best of luck here as he's off track a bit trying to get that car going. So not entirely sure what's happening with him there. Looks like we got possibly dropped on another lap, but invalidated lap there. So did Walker here. So there are quite a few invalidated laps happening on track here right about now, and we're waiting for these drivers to get on another lap and get back going here. Tucker here in the Haas, we're back on with him again. Let's have a look and see what this situation is bringing towards us. So far so good in the session. Still waiting for some more lap times though to come on in here, because we do have quite a bit of interesting situation happening with our top 8 drivers so far. So I'm waiting to see where the rest of the drivers are going to be. Looks like Robbie is currently joining on the session. Going to be good to have him in this race here as well. We'll have a look and see where he is currently with the standings and whatnot, because we'll have a look at that a little bit later on in the qualifying session itself. Okay, so a 107.2. I actually didn't pay attention to that, just for Tucker there. So far as it is, we got a few 105. So Christian goes 105.0 into P9. Chris goes P10 105.2. Vintage down to 11 to 105.9. Chirpy there 105.9 as well, only off by about 300th of a second. The P12 Tucker down to 13th with his 107. The rest of the drivers currently still in the pits there. We got yet to make a time here. We got Robbie, Beefy, Albo, Scooby, Red Devil, and Neil yet to make some lap times here in the session. We still got some time left, just under 8 minutes remaining here in qualifying 1, but so far looking quite good in terms of the lap times. I think Tucker just improved his time there a 105.9, sorry about that, and that's about 400 of a second off the time what Chirpy currently has their P12, so not looking too bad. Might be able to improve himself and possibly get a much better time. Gonna try to have a look if we can have a look on board with someone, maybe during one of their hot laps getting through the lap. But we see quite a few invalidated laps as we scroll on through these drivers here. Let's see what exactly is happening. We're waiting for just some of those drivers on the bottom of the grid to actually get out here on track and try and get a lap. And I think they might just be waiting for the track to just get a bit rubbered in terms of getting them out, and hoping that the track does get a bit faster there, or just looking at the level of cloudiness on track here and see what the track temperature currently is, just to decide what is it they're going to be doing at this point. So let's see how that works out. So far, we still got a draft there, holding on to fastest lap here in qualifying 1 with just under 7 minutes now remaining. Walker currently second fastest, Mikey third fastest on the grid here, with that. Cody currently P4, Maddie up to P5, and TexJ in 6. We got Mr. H 7, Anton in 8, Christian in 9, Chris in 10th. We got Vintage 11, Chirpy 12, Tucker 13th at the moment here. I'm going to switch this on over down at the bottom of the grid here. We got Red Bull and Neil currently out on track, waiting for these two to actually get started on their laps, and let's see what that's going to look like. As we are currently on it, guys, thanks to everyone currently joining us on this session live here as we are currently streaming on. I know most of the drivers tend to watch the session after the race just to focus on their qualifying sessions and the race itself. But to everyone currently watching, thank you guys very much. Hopefully you guys are already subscribed to the channel. Make sure you guys do that, and make sure you guys do leave a like on that video here as well. And as usual, it is still currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch as we usually do it. So still keeping it going that way, but of course main streaming channel here on YouTube, where we'll do most of what we do. Alright, so we got Neil about to get started. I'm gonna get on board with him as we go into turn 1 here. A bit of an elevation change going upwards and getting into turn 1, so a bit slippery getting off that curve there. They got to be extremely careful for that in terms of the braking zone as well. The sun is not entirely sharp out as it usually would, because you can have some trouble with that as well. Getting into this next turn, quite tight around here as well. A lot of cars going to be going wide on that opening lap to see what's going to happen with that. We'll see how it works out through. As you can see, very, very quickly navigates through the track. It is a very short lap, just at over a minute 4 seconds or so average, and a bit of an overtaking zone right around here as well. Some drivers do take it on the inside, some try to push it around the outside, but that just depends on what they can actually do. And this is one portion of track where it can be quite easy to actually invalidate your lap if you are not careful and do intend and actually end up going just a bit wide. So they have to be extremely careful with that. As you see, Neil just went a little bit off the track here, but not enough to actually invalidate that lap. So he actually kept it on this quite enough, getting down into the final turn and then back onto the start-finish straight. Quite an interesting lap here around the Red Bull Ring. He gets across the line, and let's see what the lap then looks like. It's at 105.2, puts him into P11 for now. Not too bad of a time there for the Mercedes driver. We'll hold it off for now, but with just 4.5 minutes remaining, we'll need to try and get a better lap in here. Let's go down to the bottom of the grid. We got Beefy out on track here. Purple sector 1 on his lap so far. Let's see where the AlphaTauri driver puts this car at the end of this current lap here, but so far looking quite good, and hopefully doesn't invalidate the lap as he gets on through. Has a bit of traffic coming up in front of him there, as we can see as well, so he's trying to push on through that and hopefully doesn't get held up in any way. I think they're just a bit out front, so let's see how that works out. Those might be his teammate out in front of him there as well. Mr. Rich continuing retiring off the session, getting down to the end of here of qualifying 1 now, so we have most of the drivers start to retire off. Mr. Rich, of course, went fastest in the session at 104.323, literally a 100th of a second faster. That was quite interesting there as well. Oh, and that is Beefy out of the session. I didn't even have quite full look at that, what just happened there. Unfortunate for that. Going to be a bit of a yellow flag down there in sector 3, down there just after that pit entrance. So did not make it back even across the line to get a lap in. Unfortunate for the AlphaTauri drivers, and he's going to be out of qualifying 2 and 3 there. Unfortunately, will not be able to make it over. It looks like he'll have to start down there 20th on the grid. A bit of an unfortunate situation here in qualifying 1, and this closed down to the end of the session. And I'm trying to pronounce the name there, Sifredan, I think it is. Thank you for this, for subscribing to the channel there. I'm seeing the notification, I'm just not really good at getting that in. And user good as well. So 2 subscriptions so far on the YouTube channel since we've been live here so far. Yeah guys, so back to this. Unfortunate for that bit of situation there in just a bit. I think we got Robbie about to get started on another lap here, but I think he invalidated close down to the end, so that's not actually going to work out too well for him. See what's happening out front here right now. One AlphaTauri driver left in, trying to get a better lap in currently, but currently still in a pretty good position of getting over into qualifying 2 right here on another outlap right about now. Let's see the McLaren driver just trying to improve his time, or probably just trying to get some practice here in on the track. Robbie here, the only driver yet to make a lap time in. Beefy was about to make a pretty good one in, but unfortunately bended on the final sector of the track there. Alright, so let's see what this current lap is looking like here for Maddie here in the McLaren. Didn't really pay attention if he had any purple sector so far, but getting to the end of sector 2 here right now. Not a purple sector 2, so let's see how this lap goes as he finishes this off here. I think we're down to just a final minute here left now in let's get this mic a bit in front of me. Yeah, the final minute here left in qualifying 1, about to finish this off right about now. And one more thing to add to that, drivers have been warned, I see in the Discord, about the pit entry here at Austria, to use the entire entry and not to try to gain some sort of advantage getting around to that there. So because penalties will be handed out, so that's been warned already about that, so they have to be very, very careful about that pit entry. Of course, all drivers will have to record their screens as well, just to just in case if anything happens in the session. Okay, so right down to the end of this session with 20 seconds remaining. I think just about 2 drivers. Robbie now gets the time in, so he's now 105.0. Goes up to P11. Looks like he might be making it over. Definitely make it over there to qualifying 2. Let's see who's going to be out of that session. I think Maddie here, possibly the only driver left running on track, along with Robbie there, who's now getting on an in lap, I believe. And he's going to get across the line, and that's going to be it for him. Let's see where is Robbie on track. And there goes DXC Maddie, goes fastest in the session at 104.3 on his final attempt here. So fastest here in qualifying 1. Not looking too bad for him so far. So quite an interesting turnaround there at the end of the qualifying session. We're about to get into qualifying 2. Just waiting for Robbie's car to get back into the pits. Moving quite slowly right about now. And he's even got the marshals getting the yellow flags out with how slow he's going at this point. As you can see him getting into the pit entrance here. And this is what they mean by use the entire pit entrance, getting in. Not to cut it and get in and gain any sort of advantage. So he's getting in now. As soon as his car is in, we should be able to move straight over into the results here for Q1, and then get straight over to the qualifying 2 session. Okay, so let's have that car go in. We'll have a quick look and see how many drivers are getting over into Q2. Already got 19 total in this. Hopefully have one more join before the end of the full qualifying session. And we should have a full grid on for the race here at Austria itself. So it'll be quite interesting. Alright, there we go, finally. Alright guys, so there we go. So DXT Maddie there in the McLaren gets the fastest lap time here in qualifying 104.319. Mr. Wright went second fastest there. Draft in third, Walker fourth, Mikey fifth. We got Cody in sixth, Entex J in seventh. We got Albo there currently 8th, Anton in 9th, Christian in 10th, Rob 11, Red Devil 12, Neil 13, Chris in 14, and Chirpy made it here in 15. That's our top 15 going over to qualifying 2. Unfortunately, Scooby will be starting 16, Tucker has to start 17, Vintage starts 18, and Beefy, because of his DNF there in the third sector on his first attempt at getting a hot lap, he will be starting 19th on the grid there. So we're going to head straight over into qualifying 2. Let's see how much luck the guys are going to have over there as we get into that session. Okay, so we're here in qualifying 2. We got 15 minutes already started on the clocks. We got 15 drivers in the session. Of course, this is the session where there will be a bit more focus in terms of tire strategy and whatnot, because whichever set of tires they do their fastest laps on, they will have to start the race on that set of tires, provided they make it over into qualifying 3, and it is a dry race start, which we already know it is going to be. So let's keep an eye on the tires that these guys are going to be heading out on track with. And yeah, let's see what's going to happen as we get on through with this session here. Looks like Red Devil might be the first guy to get out there in the Alfa Romeo. Let's see what his lap time is going to look like. We had quite a lot of 104s down there in qualifying 1, so we're definitely quite interested to see what it's going to look like here in qualifying 2 in terms of these guys just trying to get themselves over into qualifying 3, and at the same time trying to qualify on whatever set of tires they do want to start the race on. So we will see them doing very minimum amount of laps, just usually like 1 hot lap on a set, maybe 2 if needed. Just depends on what's going to happen in the session, but let's see how that's going to work out, because it is going to get quite a bit interesting. Once again guys, thanks to all of you currently joining us on here live here on IG8Live Esports for this race session here with SLIPSTREAM Racing League. Of course, this is again round 10 of the current season that they're running here. I think we got the hot lap getting started with Red Devil already, so let's see what that lap time is going to look like. Now we are currently at the Red Bull Ring guys for the Austrian Grand Prix. Going to be about a 36 lap race when we do get started with it. Lasts an average of at least 40-45 minutes, just depending on safety cars, VSCs and whatnot in the session. Robbie there having some trouble apparently with his PlayStation system. I think getting back online there right now. Hopefully does get back on, because he is currently here in qualifying 2. Needs to get a lap time in that's good enough to take him over into qualifying 3 at this point. So hopefully the luck is on his side at this point in terms of that system not giving up on him there right now. And as I said guys, we will be having a look at the driver standings and the constructor standings in just a bit, possibly going at the start over in qualifying 3. We should have a quick look at that. Alright, so he has to get another lap going. He invalidated the previous one. Let's see who else currently is running a lap here. We do have Mikey on a lap at the moment. They're in sector 3. I think Mercedes in front of him. Not sure who that currently is. Possibly Neil there trying to get a lap in as well. Neil gets a 105.4. Let's see where Mikey goes. He gets across the line here now in the Ferrari. Goes 105.4 as well. Only about 4/10 off, and he did it on the softs. Neil's lap was on the medium, so this is going to make things a bit interesting to see how well these guys perform between the mediums and the softs here right about now. We got Walker on track here on a hot lap as well, getting through sector 2 right about now. Let's see where he goes at the end of this. So NTXG as well. Let's see where he is on track. I'm trying to have a look. I think he just got started with his lap. And Red Devil possibly coming across the line there right about now. I think it is. No, that was Christian J. And it goes 104.9. So precision goes 104.9, 105, 105. So we're looking pretty good so far. We're gonna start to get into those 104s. Let's see how that works out. And Walker has stopped on track. Not a wise idea at this point here. Needs to be a bit careful with that. On with the Alpine driver here, coming around at the moment. Let's see what his lap is gonna look like. And looks like it's going to be cloudy all on through this entire session that we're having this evening here. Trying as much as he can not to invalidate this lap right about now, and he's about to get across the line. Let's see where NTXJ goes. Fastest in the session, 104.2. Not a bad lap there from the Alpine driver. That's going to hold at least for now. Let's see how much longer he's able to hold that through. Looks like Robbie got back online here. He's in his car trying on for an out lap at the moment. Going to get started with a hot lap pretty soon. Has the Aston Martin, no, not the Aston Martin, the McLaren of Anton in front of him. Chris in the Aston Martin's out of the session, unfortunately. I think he just binned it right around where Beefy went off early on. Let's get on board and have a quick look if we can here. What exactly happened there? If his car is still there, I'm not even sure. His car is down on the side of the track, so I'm not sure what happened. Probably lost it on the final turn, so gonna have to be very careful about that here. I'm gonna advise the rest of the drivers just to watch that exit, especially during the race itself, not to lose it around there. So let's see where Anton goes here on the mediums right about now with this lap, and goes passes sector 1 at the moment. Okay, so coming down to the end of sector 2 here with the McLaren of Anton. Where does he go? Not a purple sector 2, unfortunately. But let's see what's going to happen. Aaron Riley there giving our stream a like there on Facebook. Thanks very much to him for that. He runs the LNR Esports League that we do stream with on Tuesdays. Have another stream with him coming up on this Tuesday as well. And there is Anton P3 right now for him, as Robbie now goes fastest in the session. So 104.8 for Anton in the McLaren. Robbie goes 104.0 there in the Haas. Not a bad time from him. Who else do we have on a hot lap here at the moment? Got Chirpy there in the Red Bull getting through this lap. Let's see what that's going to look like as he completes it on the softs as well. So a bit of an interesting strategy change we're seeing here. Most of these cars trying to do it on the mediums. But it's kind of usual the way we're going to see here when we have a full qualifying session. They're going to try it on the medium, see what the lap time looks like, see what the pace is out on track with the grip level of these tires and whatnot, and then have a go at it maybe on the softs just to see what's going to happen. If they can get a much faster lap in, then they will have to start the race on the softs itself. But they have to look at whatever strategy they want to run. They have to take into account of safety cars or VSCs that might happen on the opening lap of this race, or even somewhere just in the midway of the race itself, just to see how that's going to work out. We do have this Red Bull coming down to the end of his current lap here. Let's see what the lap time is going to look like. We got close to half of the grid. Not in half as yet, but we're getting there. We're on to 7.5 minutes left in the session. He invalidates on that final chicane there, and as we said, it's a bit of a warning already. 2 drivers have the DNF'd on that exact corner during qualifying 1, qualifying 2, so they're gonna have to be extremely careful getting around that portion of the track there. And yes, maybe a bit of a change here coming on to F1 2021, so they will have to be extremely careful about this final turn here at the Red Bull Ring in terms of that race session itself, just not to have any spins or DNF during the session. They're going to have to be extremely careful with that. We do have a purple sector 1 currently from the Williams driver here, Albo. Let's see where he goes at the end of this current lap. Might be an interesting lap here. Sector 1 seems to be a pretty good sector for most of our drivers. We're getting to sector 2 and 3, as I think is where most of them are starting to have a lot of trouble getting through. Fastest time still here with Robbie there at Haas at 104.0 and TXJ 104.2, only 2 tenths off. Another 6 tenths off is where we have Anton in the McLaren down in P3, 104.8. Now our lap times are not, the gaps are not as close as it was in qualifying 1, but of course we have drivers using a mix of strategies with tires here, so we're gonna see what's gonna happen getting over to qualifying 3 itself, because I think that's where we get a bit more interesting. Everyone will be on the soft and trying to get the best possible time. And Neil out of the session. Albo goes 105.1 there on the mediums, and P5 for now. Neil had a 105.4. That time is going to hold there. P6 for him for the moment. But how well will it hold? Will it be able to take him over into qualifying 3? I'm highly doubting it at this point in the session, because we have quite a few drivers yet to get some times in here. Trying to see where our drivers are currently at. We got Walker about to finish off a lap here. Let's get on board and have a look. How well does he get through that final portion of the track, and doesn't take the curb, just gets a bit careful with that, doesn't take too much of it, and he gets across the line. Third fastest here on the session so far. Not too bad of a time there for him. Let's see who else we got coming around. I think we got Cody just in front of us. I'm going to see on him in the Aston Martin and see where his time is going to go. We got a Red Bull of Mr. Reid behind of him, and behind of that I think one more driver coming on through. Let's see how this works out, but so far so good in terms of lap times coming on through. We're getting back into those 1-4s, even with the mediums and the softs as it is, as Cody gets across the line here right about now. Goes fourth fastest, 104.560 in the mediums, and they're gonna hold up pretty well, at least for now. Let's get on with DXT Maddie here in the McLaren. Purple sector 1 on his lap. Then as you see, a lot of drivers getting these purple sector 1 times. So that's going to work on Mr. H 104.6. Puts on to P5. Who else do we have following? I think Cody up to P4. So looking pretty good with those 104 so far. Most of the drivers are getting into them there right now. And that of course is for let's see, what did we put? So this is for best, what they currently did. Currently most of these guys are on a different set of tires running right now. Got Champion on another outlap there at the moment, so let's see where that takes him. And Walker has retired from the session here with a lap time of 104.2. They're in P3. Just hoping that that takes them on over, and looks like Maddie are having some serious problems getting a lap time in here. He's not able to get one in at the moment. He keeps invalidating laps. Draw off there in the Williams, trying to get a time there in as well. Let's have a look at him, how his luck is going as he gets through into sector 3 now, gets a purple sector 2. We're not entirely sure if he had a purple sector 1 or not, so let's see as he finishes off this lap what that's actually going to look like. We had a Red Bull stuck on track there. That's possibly Chirpy there, I'm not sure, or Mr. Rage, either one of the two. As Droff now goes across the line, fourth fastest at 104.2. Remember, it is only the top 10 of these 15 drivers that are going to make it on over into qualifying 3 at this point. So they gotta make sure their lap times are on spot here, yeah, just to make sure they can't get over to Q3 and get a starting position within the top 10 itself. Back on with the McLaren here of Maddie. Does he actually get a lap time in on this occasion? And he does, a 104.5. Put some 6 fastest for now, and that took a while to get done, but he did actually get it done. We got quite a few drivers already out of this session. Let's see where we're going to be at the end of this. We're switching back over to Chirpy there in the Red Bull as he's trying to finish off a lap here at the moment. We're going to have a quick look at the standings in just a bit as we close off qualifying 2 in I guess a few minutes time or so, trying to have a look on how much time we actually do have left here. And there we go, so just 2.5 minutes on under currently remaining here in qualifying 2, and then we'll be over to the qualifying 3. We'll have a quick look at the current standings, constructors and drivers, and see where our drivers currently are at, and who's looking to gain some more points and possibly gain a position up on the driver standings at the moment. Constructors Championship going to be interesting to see how that's working out so far as well after the Italian Grand Prix last week. Currently on with Chirpy here on his current lap to see where he's going to be. He's currently in the drop zone here. We got Albo there as well in the drop zone to see what's going to happen with that. Anton might be in a bad position as well. He's currently on an outlap. Since we only have 2 drivers currently actively out of the drop zone and still running on track here, they could potentially get a faster time in and push Anton and Christian out of the top 10 at the moment. So let's see if that's going to happen or not at this point here. I think they're definitely hoping that that doesn't happen. But on the Torpedo, and he invalidates that lap there. He might have just one chance, but I think he invalidated just a bit too late on the lap. He might not get a chance, or actually did get a chance. But I don't think he's going to go for it on this current lapper, so he might be out of qualifying there. But on here with Albo right about now, about to get across the line. Let's see if he does improve at 105.1 so far, and he does improve into P10 at 104.8. 49, improved just enough to put himself up into P10, and Christian now goes down P11. Where is he on track at the moment? Is he running a hot lap or not? I'm not entirely sure. So this does mean Anton possibly is safe here at the moment. Christian might not be, just depends if Chirp is able to run on a lap, which he definitely he is not. So it looks like it's gonna be Christian and Chirpy both out of the Q3 session. Looks like Albo definitely has made it in on his final attempt at getting a good lap in there. It doesn't look like Christian is going to get a faster lap going here. Let's see if he has enough time to actually get across the line. I'm not entirely sure as yet. Looks like he's possibly out of fuel here, with just a few seconds left. I think he's definitely out of fuel. Just coasting that car as much as he could, and yep. I think that's going to be it there, guys, for this qualifying session. We're just waiting for whoever's going to run our track to finish off, and that's going to be Mr. Rage and Anton there, just the two of them to finish off, and we can head over into qualifying 3. So it looks like as it stands, we're going to have Christian start P11 in this race. Neil will have to start 12. Chirpy's going to start 13. Chris will start 14. And Red Devil will have to start 15th on the grid as it is there right now. Alright guys, so there we have it, the end of qualifying 2. Seems quite a way coming here right now. Fastest lap time there in Q2 goes to Robbie there in the house, a 104.094. We might just see a 103 here getting into qualifying 3. Let's see what that's going to go, because he did that on the mediums itself. NTX Xader second fastest in Alpine at 104.2. Walker third fastest, Draft in 4th, Mikey 5th, Albo 6th, Maddie 7th. We had Cody in 8th, Mr. Rage 9th, and Anton in 10th. That's our top 10 going over to Q3. Only one of the top 10 did a lap on the softs there. The rest are on the mediums. So going to be very interesting to see how that works out going over the qualifying 3 there. Of course, in qualifying 3, everyone's going to be running on the soft tires, trying to get the best possible time, just to see who's going to be able to get professional pole for the start of the Austrian Grand Prix. So we're heading straight over into that session there right now, qualifying 3. Let's have a quick look at standings at the moment as we can here. So let me just get it up on my side of the screen as well, because I'm not even able to see anything at this point. Alright, so I think we are currently on with the constructor standings at the moment, and we currently got Mercedes, of course, leading the standings there with 159 points. We got AlphaTauri currently second, just behind of them, but quite a bit of a gap there, only with 105 points. So that's going to be a bit interesting as well to see how that works out with the session there coming off today. And then we got Ferrari currently third on the Constructors Championship, 100 points, only 5 points behind AlphaTauri. So it's going to be interesting between those two. We got Haas currently fourth with 86 points, Williams fifth, 73 points. We got McLaren currently sixth with 71 points. We got Alpine currently 7th, 43 points. Alfa Romeo in 8th, 38 points. We got Red Bull in 9th right now, 33 points. Didn't expect to see that there, did you? And where we have Aston Martin currently 10th with only 19 points at the moment there. So let's switch that off, and I think we can actually have a quick look here Let me just get that up, and then let's have a look at the driver standings as that currently is. So a little more interesting here. Let's see what's happening. So Clock not racing today, but has 152 points, has quite an extensive lead over Robbie, who currently following on screen right now. Currently second on the drivers championship here, 85 points. Has a long way to go before catching up to Clock there. So he needs to win this race definitely here and get fastest lap as well. Hopefully, Drop there currently third in the championship, 66 points. Mikey just behind of him in P4, 60 points. Got Beefy in 5th with 54 points. Walker 6, 52 points. We got Nick currently 7, 50 points. Vintage in 8, 40 points. Got Tyler currently 9 with 35 points. Mr. Agent 10, 31 points. Extreme is currently in 11, 24 points. We got Paige currently 12, 23 points. Red Devil 13 with 14 points. Maddie there 14 with 14 points. Kristen 15 with 12 points. Christian there 16 with 10 points. Neil 17, 8 points. Scooby in 18th with 8 points. We get Excess there in 19th, 8 points as well. And Cody there in 20th on the standings with 7 points only. So some drivers currently not racing here right about now, and some of them are on. Gonna have to try and make the most of it, and hopefully get a set of points here to add on to their constructors for the team and for the drivers championship for themselves as well. Let's see how that's going to work out. We're currently on with Robbie at the moment in the house. Let's see what his lap time is going to look like. Of course, everyone currently running on the soft tires here in qualifying 3, trying to get the best possible time. And Walker currently with the first time in at 103.9. I mean, as I said, we did expect to get into the 103s. Entex J currently second fastest, 104.0, almost into the 109, only 100 of a second off. Cody currently 104.3 into third with that. Let's see who's going to be next to get on through. Draft currently second now, 103.9. He gets into that as well. Only at 100 of a second off the time that Walker currently had. And then we got Robbie now getting a 113.6, not the best of time there. Let's see how that's going to work out with the rest of the jobs getting through. Mikey there, 104.9, puts him up to P5 at least for now. Anton and Mr. Rage, we're going to have a look and see where these two are. Mr. Rage about to get across the line there, I think. And let's see if he gets a time in. And that's waiting on out. I think he's getting started in his lap there, possibly right now. I'm not sure. They're going to have to wait a bit of that. Possibly he invalidated the previous lap, so he's going to have to go another lap there. We got the McLaren getting across the line at 104.6, puts himself up into P5, and not a bad position so far here. So we got 2 103s, quite a few 104s, and 113, which we expect to see improve upon very soon here. So let's get back to Mr. Rage here in the Red Bull. He's going to finish up this lap pretty soon. Second attempt at a lap here on that same set of soft tires. Let's see where he can put this car already down to just under 8 minutes. Of course, qualifying 3, only a total of 12 minutes for drivers to get their lap times in on track. Robbie now fastest in the session. That's provisional pole there at the moment, 103.904, and 700 of a second faster than what Walker did. And that's an invalidated lap there for the Red Bull driver. We're going to have to try that once again on with Maddie here once again, evaluated once again. So they're having some trouble putting a lap together here in Q3. So let's see what that's going to work out with these guys. Alright, let's get back on to Mr. Rage. I think he might have to think about going into the pits and then getting back out in terms of trying to get another lap. It looks like Walker's going for it once again, wants to take away that provisional pole away from Robbie at that point here. And Robbie back into the pits. So let's see where Walker goes at the end of this lap. It looks like he already invalidates that current lap. On with Trough now, who I think might be getting into the pit lane here right now. Let's have a look, and yep, he is. And they're being very cautious about that pit entry, as they all have been warned about it already. That NTXJ on another out lap, so definitely trying another lap here right now. 6 minutes 20 seconds remaining here in Q3, and then we get straight into our race session, which we definitely have been waiting quite a while for. I would say the past close to an hour now. We have been on stream here waiting for that to get started. But always interesting to get through these full qualifying sessions just to see how well drivers can push themselves to a certain limit, or to the limit that they can, just to get the best possible qualifying time here. Things are going to be quite interesting on the opening lap here as well. We might be looking at definitely some incidents happening as well. We'll see how that goes. As NTC, the only driver currently on track. Okay, so it looks like we have all of our drivers currently back into the pit lane here. At the moment, just waiting for someone else to get back out. We're waiting for the drivers to get back out on our second set of laps. We got just under, well, just about 4.5 minutes currently remaining here for Q3. I think we already have the McLaren of Anton getting back out on track here. And someone else is already, Walker is already back out there as well. Let's have a look at him on his current out lap, see if he's able to improve his time when he gets started on his next hot lap here, which might be his final one, or might be running another 2 hot laps on that set of tires, which he does have the time for at this point here. Just depends if he invalidates his first attempt at this, so let's see how that's going to work as he gets around there at the moment. His teammate, of course, going to be starting down at the back of the grid, so let's see how much points they can score here for this race session itself. Alright, so it should be about to get started here right about now, and let's see how well this lap is going to go for him. Got a few more drivers getting out behind of him to get started on their laps here as well, using as much of the track as usually he does, trying to gain as much advantage as he can here getting through this current lap. And we can see the elevation changes that are on this track as we head uphill here and into a very tight braking zone as well. Have to be very careful of that exit, does get a bit slippery. Let's see if this lap can put him on provisional pole for the start of the Austrian Grand Prix at this point. I don't think I've seen any purple sector so far, but he will have a second chance at doing this with the amount of time that is currently left in the session. There goes a purple sector 2 so far here for Walker. I don't think it was a purple sector 1, or I really didn't pay attention to that. Let's see if he can get it through on sector 3. And tries to keep it as he does invalidate on that final chicane, getting it wrong. Took it a little bit too deep on the inside. I think that might just be it for him there. Let's see if he's going to try another lap on that or not. Get a McLaren of Anton getting across here. Let's see if he improves his time. 104.6 so far. Does he improve? And doesn't look like he did. Getting started on another lap here right about now. On with his teammate Maddie here in the next McLaren, getting through on this lap right now. Should try to improve here if he can. Doesn't get a purple sector 1 though, so let's see if that's going to work out as he gets through this lap. Doesn't look like it's working out as well as expected, as that is another invalidated lap there on with the Red Bull of Mr. Rage, and looks like an invalidated lap there as well. Robbie on track, actually stuck in the gravel there, trying to get back on track here right now, not having luck here on the final few laps, the final few minutes that are left here in qualifying. Where is Troft on track here? I think he is definitely trying to get a faster time in on with the Williams right now. Let's see what's going to happen. This final sector seems to be giving a lot of drivers a lot of trouble, especially that final chicane getting through there. Gotta be very careful not to take it too much on the inside. And Draft now takes over provisional pole away from Robbie, who is, I'm not sure doing what on track at the moment. I think he's definitely got started on another lap here right now. Let's see if he's able to take back provisional pole away from the Williams driver there. Definitely on for that, but let's see if he does get to do it. Not a purple sector 1 is driving without a helmet. We keep having drivers do this almost every single race now. Not sure if they're trying to save weight on the car or not. I highly doubt that's legal. Let's see if that works out for him. Hopefully he can get a faster lap driving without the helmet. But what happens if a bug goes into your eyes at that point? And that is an invalidated lap there from the Haas driver, so he is out of it there right about now. Not going to be able to make a faster time in. Walker here. Highly doubt he's going to get a chance at another lap here, or is he trying to do another lap? I'm not sure. Let's see if he's improving or not. And that's going to be it. P3 for him. Robbie's back into the pits. And XJ definitely not getting a faster lap here right now. Where is Mikey on track? Getting back into the pits. Albo and Mr. Rage. Invalidated for Albo. Mr. Rage currently trying to finish off his final lap here. One more driver that could potentially improve his time. Let's see if that's going to happen or not. Doesn't invalidate the lap. He's going to get across the line, and let's see what his lap time looks like. It's a P8 for him, a 104.3. Albo was not able to get a lap time in, unfortunately, and did invalidate there on that final attempt. So I think that's going to be it here for qualifying itself. And this might just be the order our top 10 are going to be starting in. So let's head over to the results for that, then have a look at the entire starting grid during the formation lap before we get started with the race here itself. Alright, so we have a drop there in the Williams taking fastest lap and provisional pole for the start of the Austrian Grand Prix, and that's a 103.8 for him. Not too bad. Robbie there second fastest here in qualifying 3, will be starting second on the grid. Walker there third. We got NTXJ fourth, Maddie fifth, Mikey in sixth, Cody in seventh, Mr. Rage 8th, Anton in ninth, and Albo didn't get a time in. We'll have to start there in 10th. So we're gonna head straight over to the formation lap and then get started with the race itself, and let's see how that opening lap goes. Alright, so we got a bit of a bouncy Haas on track there as he gets started on the formation lap here right about now. Let's get our stats up on screen in the meanwhile, and we will be having a look at tire strategy and the starting grid as it is here right about now. So let's see, we got 36 laps here ahead of us around the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian Grand Prix. Round 10 here with Slipstream Racing next Sunday division. We got Draft in the Williams starting on provisional pole here. We got Robbie starting second on the grid. Walker will start third. NTXJ starting in fourth. We got Maddie there in the McLaren starting 5th. Mikey starts 6th there. Cody in the Aston Martin will start 7th. Mr. Rage in the Red Bull starts 8th. And Anton in next. McLaren will start 9th. Albo starting 10th. We got Christian starts 11th. Neil starts 12th. Chirpy starting 13th. Chris will start 14th. We got Red Devil starting 15th. Scooby starting 16th. Tucker in 17th. Vintage 18th. And Beefy there starting 19th. We're only short one driver for a full grid, but still we can have quite an exciting race here. We are the top 3 on the mediums. In the top 10 we only have one driver starting on the softs, and that's Intex J running a bit of a different strategy. We'll see how that works out for him. Down in the bottom of the grid, a bit of a mix of strategies between softs and mediums, mostly on the mediums, but we'll see how well this strategy plays out for these drivers getting on through the opening laps of this race. Do we expect a safety car? Do we expect a VSC? I'm not sure what's going to happen as yet. It might actually just run through as a very clean start. We definitely do expect contact between a few cars getting through on the opening lap, or laps as it might be, getting through with this. So we'll see how well this works out, but we're about to get started on this. Once again, thanks to everyone joining us on the stream live here. Please guys, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you guys leave a like on the video for us, and we should be ready to go in less than about 30 seconds here. So let's get out in front. We're going to leave this on position changes. Of course, you guys can have a look at that as we get started with the race. And we're going to get on board with the bouncy house driver. Not sure what kind of suspension he has on, but let's see how this race start goes between him and the Williams there. It looks like the Williams gets a bit of a better start, a bit of wheel spin on the off the grid there, though, to get into turn 1. The Haas slots in on the racing line, a bit of contact down in the back there with the AlphaTauri there of Walker as well, and they still get on through. That might have a broken front wing as they get on through that opening lap. So far, Entex J gains a position off of Walker after that bit of contact. Walker trying to gain it back on the inside of the Alpine, and he does get it back with a broken front wing on that right side, missing the right end plate, and they go side by side now through into sector 2. And I think Walker's going to fight him on the inside all the way through into the next turn. He might be able to get this through. Let's see if that's going to happen or not. And the Alpine trying to fight it through. Walker with that broken wing, still pushing as much as he can. We're going to possibly be hoping for a safety car, maybe just to do a pit stop here at this point in the race. But so far so good. Down in the back, there are quite a few position changes as Walker now loses back that position. And the Alpine takes back 3rd place in the race here. Walker is down to P5 at the moment, losing positions because of that broken front wing. Not enough downforce to take these turns at such high speeds as his fellow drivers right around him at the moment there. So he's going to definitely be losing positions getting on through the race. He's getting into the pits right now, going to have a wing change here and get onto a new set of tires as well, as he's losing too much time with that broken wing. We got Mr. Rage here in the Red Bull trying to get around that Ferrari there of Mikey out in front, but has to hold it back at the moment as it is. So he's still going to push on through using that slipstream, gets around side by side with him, and definitely looks like he's going to gain that position down in the back there. Looks like we get a few drivers trying to gain positions there as well, and I think Mikey might be trying. That leaderboard is a bit mixed up, and let that be for right about now. Mikey was trying to get back to position here, but I don't think he was able to. We're going to let the leaderboard just sort itself out at least for now, and let's change this off at least to penalties at the moment. And looks like we are migrating hopefully, but we're having some problems here right about now as well. Let's get back on the grid here and see what's happening so far. Looks like a bit of close contact with quite a few drivers down at the back here. Trying to keep on with Mikey here right about now, because I know he has Christian and Cody behind. They've been fighting for positions in front. He's chasing after Albo at the moment here. Not sure what the exact positions on track are at the moment, as we're currently getting into lap 3 right about now. Robbie currently out in front, fastest time there so far for him. We do have TRS now online. That's going to be a bit of an advantage on most of the drivers chasing a car within a second in front of them. Let's see how that's going to work. I think our leaderboard is about back sorted there. We're just going to let that be for the moment. But so far so good on that race start. Looks like we've lost Beefy in the race though, as I'm not sure if he retired in the pits or if he did DNF the session pretty early up on when the leaderboard was getting mixed up there. I think that's when that actually happened, but I'll let that be at the moment. I just keep on with this. Out in front we do have Droff still leading this race. We still got Robbie running in second here, and then Mr. Rage there should be not too far behind, but just a few seconds actually there. So let's see what that's working between these two out in front though, because it's a pretty close gap between Droft and Robbie at the moment, and this of course is a fight for the lead of the race here. And even with, I think, the DRS advantage that he is having, using the slipstream as much as he can, still not able to get the fastest lap away from draft out in front, and he's keeping this going as much as he can. Both go a little bit wide there, and I think almost getting a penalty. They're going to have to be extremely careful about that. It's a 2:10 gap right about now. The slipstream is working in favor of Robbie in the Haas at the moment. Doesn't want to take the chance of cutting it on the inside. Holds that position onto the racing line at the moment behind the Williams, and he's going to continue on through. Let's see how much longer he's able to keep this up, because that 2:10 gap is definitely damaging the front tires on that Haas right about now. Pushes it on the inside, and he looks like he's going to get that overtake done, and quite neatly done as well. No contact between the two cars, but we have the Williams pushing back on the inside. Has the bit more pace as it seems, but he's still not able to get it back as yet. So getting quite heated out in front, but slowing down maybe just a bit, down to about 4/10 is what the gap is currently at right about now, as they get into the next lap. And we got a bit of a spin from the Haas here, getting around that final turn. I'm not sure if there was contact between the two of them, but he's trying to get back going. Hopefully ghosted, so everyone is driving through him at the moment here. Maybe bug flew in his eye, not wearing a helmet. Alright, so he's going to get back going all the way down into 9th right now, trying to slot himself back onto the racing line. So out in front. This, of course, gives Drop the advantage of now having a 2.6-second gap to the car behind of him, who's currently Mr. Ranger in a Red Bull. We got Maddie here now running third. He is about 7/10 behind that Red Bull and currently chasing after him. Both on a podium position here, but definitely fighting for the best possible position, which is a race win at this point in the session. Walker, after his bit of traumatic start, he's down to 12 from the grid after taking his pit stop right about now. We got quite some close gaps out in front here. Just trying to work right here with Mikey, a 4:10 gap currently to the Alpine, I believe, in front of him. And I think he's trying to, the Williams in front of him. He's trying to chase after that. Let's see how that's going to work. It looks like Chirpy's going into the pits. He's down in the back and 18th on the grid right about now. Bit of a slipstream to work with here from Mikey in the Ferrari. Let's see that is going to help him getting into the next lap. Into lap 6 of 36. We still got another 30 laps or so to go. At least another 35 minutes of racing before this comes to an end. So quite a way more before we close out this race. Let's see how this works out. Still to get to those pit stop windows as yet, but most of these cars started the race on the medium tires, especially those out front. So let's see how that's going to work for them as they get on through. Robbie, they're gaining a position. He's back up into 7 now. I think he's going to continue trying to fight his way back out to the front of the grid. Mikey here in that Ferrari getting a pretty good run in the slipstream of that Williams, and he's definitely trying to get the overtake done, but just needs to be very careful and wary of where on track he's actually going to attempt to do this, because so far so good as he has it going, keeping the gap within 3/10, but needs to make sure he can get that overtake neatly done and actually keep that car over in P4 when he does get it done. Albo, of course, with a 3-second penalty, as is 3 auto drivers down in the back of the grid. Chris, John there, Neil and Chris, both are 3-second penalties as well. So let's see if that's going to affect their race down at the end here. But back onto the start finish straight, getting down back into turn 1 again. Let's see if the run down here will decrease the gap that he has. It's down to about 3/10 at the moment. Still pushing on through as much as he can. Needs to keep this as clean as possible and avoid getting any sort of penalties. And looks like he is gaining time. That slipstream working very well, and might have his overtake on. He does have it on. I think he used the DRS advantage there as well. We got Tucker going a bit wide on track there. He's trying to get back on, and I think he's running in 17th at the moment. Chirpy out of the race. He's DNF so far. Trying to have a look what's happening out front there with Maddie and Mr. Rage. A 5:10 gap between the two of them, so they're chasing after each other as well. Let's see what's happening in the midst of this as well, because dropped out in front in the Williams. He's leading this race quite comfortably after that bit of mishap with Robbie in the Haas. So he's now a 2.4-second gap ahead of Mr. Rage in the Red Bull. Mr. Rage, of course, having to deal with Maddie, Albo, and Mikey come behind. Just about 4 to 5 tenths between each other, following on through. So this is going to get a bit interesting between them as they continue to race on through until we get to the pit stop. Rotations going on through. 6/10 is about where the gap is right about now. They're trying to close the gap as much as they can, but nobody making a mistake at this point here. They're trying to avoid going wide on track, because after so many warnings, you will be getting a 3-second penalty. As you can see, Albo does currently have. I think that's what he got that 3-second penalty for, was exceeding track limits. Looks like Red Devil just gained a position there. He's now up into 8th position ahead of Scooby there in the Alpine. NTXJ down to 10th. Started a bit higher up, but lost some positions there as well. 410 gap is currently what Albo O'Hara has towards the McLaren in front of him. See how that's working for him. Because so far so good as he's currently continuing that chase. Does have the Ferrari of Mikey chasing after him though. On board a bit with Mikey here right now. Let's see how close this gap is getting, because it's down to about 5/10. Quite similar to what Albo has to the car in front of him. So he is within DRS range here right now, to have that advantage coming on to the DRS range coming up very soon here. Gets back on the car very quickly as well, down to about 4/10, trying to use the slipstream as much as he can here. Definitely trying to have a look and see how that's working out. Down with NTXJ though, I think he's trying to close in his gap onto Red Devil, trying to gain back that position there if he can. So we'll keep an eye and see what's happening down in the back there as well. And the thing is down to about 2/10. He definitely has the advantage of the slipstream right now and is trying to push on through. His teammate might be trying to follow him through with that overtake as well. But the Alfa Romeo of Red Devil trying to hold it in that position, but looks like he is going to be losing it. So far so good for the Alpine driver as he gains the advantage here and gets up into P8. But Red Devil still trying to get it back at this point. He needs to be extremely careful. Up out in front we do have Mikey with a 2:10 gap right about now behind that Williams. And he is closing it. Going to have that DRS advantage once again as they get into that DRS zone there. Of course has the overtake to use as well as much as he can. Gap is back down to about 4/10. Of course, the McLaren in front of Albo, 2/10 in front of him. Let's see how this works. So this is getting quite interesting between them. You're fighting for podium positions at the moment. It looks like the Williams is going to push it on the inside. Tries to go a bit of a late on the brake. He gets it on through, but looks like the McLaren might come back alongside him. I'm still trying to fight him back for that position. The Red Bull of Mr. Rage out in front. He's trying to get away from all of this right about now. Albo holds on to P3, so he's on to a podium position, of course, with a 3-second penalty, which definitely will affect his race time and a finishing position as well. So he's going to have to be very careful about that and hopefully not get another penalty here. We got Maddie here in McLaren trying to get past Albo here once again. Let's see if this is going to happen or not. Mikey, of course, still coming behind there in the Ferrari. We got the Alpine trying to keep the Williams. See what's happening out front, because I see the Ferrari and McLaren going side by side into this. Looks like Mikey gets up a position. Surprisingly enough, he goes a bit late on the brake, takes it on the inside. He actually gets up into P4, and after that overtake from him, of course, Maddie might actually be able to come back at him there though, because they're going all over the track right about now, trying to keep the car behind, to stay behind at this point here. Leaderboard getting a bit mixed up again. Just gonna let that be here for the moment. I think we're back sorted again here. So Trough still leading the race out in front. We got some more penalties added on to the race time for these drivers here. So quite a few penalties. We're on lap 11 of 36. Laps are going by very, very quickly in this race. Trough there 2.9 seconds ahead of Mr. Rage, still leading this race quite comfortably, now with 3 seconds. They're losing some time there now as well. Mikey in the Ferrari here has gained one position. He's trying to gain another off the Williams in front of him. Let's get on board and have a look and see how this will go back into the next lap. Into turn 1, he's going to have the slipstream advantage and does get that straight before they even get to the braking zone. So up into P3 into a podium position. Looks like Scooby's out of this race. I'm trying to see where that happened on track. Looks like it happened right where we said these guys have to be careful on that final turn. Getting back onto the start finish straight is where it happened there. It's a yellow flag situation there in sector 3. Might become a VSC or safety car if that car is blocking the track. We gotta just see what's happening over there, as these guys will be getting around there very soon. Albo there just about 2/10 behind the Ferrari right about now. Definitely trying to get back into a podium position here if he can. Let's see how that's going to work out for him. Mr. Rage out in front did make a bit of a mistake there, getting a 3-second penalty. Has to be very careful with the track limits here to avoid that happening. 3.5 seconds, now 3.6 seconds is when the gap is between Draft and Mr. Rich. He's having some trouble catching up to the race leader at that point there. Draft comfortably leading and will continue to take that lead. So there's a yellow flag situation so far for Scooby being out of the race. That's 2 drivers out so far. We're down to 16 drivers remaining here to finish off the Austrian Grand Prix. We're on lap 13 of 36. And looks like we got a full safety car. Something else might have happened on track, or maybe it is with that same situation. I'm not entirely sure. This definitely might result in some pit stops start to happen here around lap 13. Let's see what the change of strategy is going to be with drivers though, because those on the mediums definitely, I don't think they intend on doing a pit stop this early off in the race, because I think that's mostly for those guys on the soft tires. Let's bring tires online and have a look and see what's happening. So 12 laps they've done on them so far. We have drivers getting into the pit lane. Let's see what's going to happen with our race leader out front here. Most of the drivers are going to be watching on him. Since it's a full safety car, I think he might be doing a pit stop here as well. Let's see if that's going to be the case or not. And looks like the race leader currently, who is Mr. Rich, is going to go into the pits. What happened to our... oh, there we go. So Droff already into the pits. He's getting back out already. Or did he have a bit of a mishap? I think he had a bit of a mishap possibly. No, he already did a stop. My bad. He already did a stop. So he's on fresh tires already and running. The rest of the grid are now pitting. Looks like Albo decided not to pit. I don't think that was probably the wisest strategy here at the moment, because he knows the entire grid is going to be doing a pit stop under the safety car at the moment. He is of course now leading the Austrian Grand Prix, of course under the safety car, but 13 laps on those mediums are not going to do him any justice when this race gets back started and everyone behind of him is running on fresh mediums and fresh softs. They're definitely going to be gaining an advantage off of him and gaining positions. He's not going to be able to hold off the lead for that long, especially with Droff behind of him there. Let's see if that's going to work. That's his teammate, of course. They got Neil in the midst between them right about now, so they're going to have to be careful of this. This is going to be a strategy play between the Williams driver here right about now, because I think Albo will have to let Droff go by, since he's going to be the faster driver here in this session either way, especially with fresh tires on. Going to have to let him go by. He's going to be down with the second, then Mr. Rich is going to fight him with fresh mediums on to get that position, and every other driver behind of him in the same situation there. So this is going to get a bit interesting to get after the safety car goes back in. We'll see what's going to happen in that case there. And looks like Neil was disqualified from the session there for some reason, and I'm not entirely sure what that reason was. Looks like Walker gets a 3-second penalty. We got a lot of penalty situations going on right about now. As you said, Albo here leading the race right about now under the safety car, is the only driver that has not taken a pit stop in this session so far. Let's see if that's going to do him any sort of advantage when this race is ready to be restarted here or not. I highly doubt that's going to be an advantage to him. We should be able to get this race on the way back pretty soon, as I think most of the cars are already caught back up. I think the incidents on track have been cleared, so let's see what happens when we get into the third sector, if we're going to be having this race get underway once again, or if we're going to have to wait maybe one more lap before we do get back racing here. Once again, guys, thanks for everyone joining on the stream, and bear with us through the safety car session here, as it's going to be quite dicey and interesting as they get back going here. Droff, of course, trying to keep as close as they can to his teammate, but everyone's going to keep as close as they can to each other getting on through. Looks like we're going to actually have to go one more lap under that safety car. It's going to be a quick lap, just about a minute to get around the track, a minute 5 to minute 8 seconds or so race pace time. And then we should be able to get back going into, I guess, lap 17, because we're about to go into lap 16 here right about now. So we're going to be approaching the halfway point there, and we got another half of the race to go before we close it out. So we'll see what happens. There are quite a lot of penalties here in this session so far, though. Going to be very troubling for drivers in terms of trying to get positions at the end of the race. Okay, so already getting back through lap 16 here of 36. Got another 20 laps or so to go. Alright, so there we have a safety car is going to be in at the end of this lap. We're about to get back racing into lap 17. We got another half of this race to go. Let's see what's going to happen as we get back started here. We got Albo there, hasn't taken a pit stop as yet. His teammate on fresh mediums behind of him. Everyone behind of that running on fresh tires there as well. So this is going to get a bit interesting to see how that restart goes. Let's see if Albo is going to be losing positions and how many positions he will lose. We know that he's going to end up giving his teammate the lead of the race. Either way, his teammate will get around him of that restart, and currently as it is, his teammate is going to have to control when they actually get back going, and I think they're about to get back going here right about now to get around that final turn. Let's see how it goes into turn 1. Albo currently leads this race, still dropped there, currently second, chasing after his teammate. Has a pretty close gap, but hasn't gotten past him there as yet. They're going to have to make it so that they don't either of them lose time, and he's going to go for the move here right about now as he gets by his teammate before the end of sector 1. Got a Red Bull of Mr. H coming behind of them. He gets past as well, late on the brake, and tries to go around there, and actually doesn't get it through. He's asked to just hold back there in P3 at least for now. So let's see what's happening down in the back of the grid here. So Albo under pressure right now from the Red Bull of Mr. Rage. Definitely gonna be losing that position as he takes it on the inside. He gets up into second place now. Albo down to third. Mikey coming about 5/10 behind that. We do have some interesting battles following on through behind of all of this with Maddie, Cody, and Mikey here as well. A 2:10 gap between the Aston Martin and the McLaren there with Maddie and Cody. This is what's happening with those two. Of course, we'd see Mikey there gaining time. He's about to get around that Williams of Albo as well. As I said, this was a very, very bad move from him. He's not going to be losing positions. I think he definitely has to fight a bit more to try and keep it, but he's already lost it. He's down to P4 now. Mikey's up to third, on top podium position, dropped with a penalty. Mr. Rage with a penalty. This is getting quite interesting out in front to see what's happening there. We got Cody with 2/10, 1/10 behind that. Williams is side by side trying to get by him right now, and he's on the outside trying to get around, taking a long way around. Let's see if he's actually able to pull this off. We got Albo trying to fight him back for it though. And looks like he holds the position at least for now, still in P4. He's going to fight it on through until he's ready to actually do a pit stop. Maybe here, let's see how much he's able to actually to hold them up before actually taking his pit stop in this race. We got the McLaren and the Haas, Robbie and Maddie fighting for 6th position down at the back there as well. So getting a bit dicey between them. That Aston Martin definitely trying to get a bit of contact between them as Albo is now possibly off track there, I believe. He's into the wall down at the side. Let's have a look what's happening to his car. He is off track with damage to that front wing. So a very bad call from him, not taking a stop on the safety car as everyone else. We got Walker here about to push for an overtake against the McLaren in front of him. Let's see if that's going to work out or not. There's quite a few cars, very close gaps between them as they all continue on into lap 19 right about now. We got that McLaren of Maddie about to lose our positions. We got the Haas and the Aston Martin out in front. That is Cody and Robbie fighting for P4 at the moment as Walker takes it on the inside of the Aston Martin right about now, trying to get around. And does he get up? And he's already up to P6. He's trying to get up into P5 at the moment and might actually be able to get this done on the inside. He's pushing through for that position, and those soft tires working very well for him. He gets on over into P5 and he's going to hold it on through for now. Cody not able to keep back up with him. A 10th is where the gap is, but will he be able to get back to position? Doesn't look like it will be that situation happening. Either way, so far so good as they get on through this race here into lap 19. Draft still leads the race. We got Mr. Rich currently running second, Mikey running third, Robbie running fourth. Bit of a gap between them. Walker there 8/10 behind the house of Robbie right about now. He's trying to catch up with him as much as he can. Let's see if he's able to gain another position here or not. Got a train of cars going behind of him as well, trying to keep up with him and possibly gain an overtake as he gets on through the grid here. Looks like NTXJ might be aiming for an overtake against the McLaren of Matty down behind there. See what that's working out for him. Stopping driver trying to push on through for an overtake as much as he can. Does have Red Devil coming about a second behind of him. He's trying to keep in the slipstream of 90 right about now. He's trying to possibly push it on the inside. Let's see if he does, and he does try to push it on the inside. And a bit of contact between them, a bit of minor contact, but no damage so far as he gets on through into P7. Not a bad overtake from him. A bit risky, but did actually work out for his side there. Out in front, Walker now with a 3:10 gap. Now 2:10s actually between him and the House of Robbie. So he's trying to get up into P4. I think he's trying to get onto a podium position here. Does have a penalty, of course. So let's see how that's going to work out. Let's switch off tires and just leave penalties on. Just going to have a look at that as you get on through this. Using as much of the track as he can here, and he's pushing a lot at the moment, as you can see, gaining a lot of time as he's now right up to the rear of Robbie's car, and he is harvesting energy, so we're gonna be a bit slower there as yeah, Fattori pushes on the inside, gets that overtake done. Got the Haas pushing back on the outside, see if he's able to get that done or not. I highly doubt he will. Got Cody come behind that as well there. Those two still fighting side by side for that position. A bit of wheel contact almost happening there, but so far so good as looks like Walker's gonna hold it out through in P4. Robbie's still trying to fight this through though with a 2:10 gap. He knows he has that chance. Out in front, looks like Mr. Rage is now into the lead of this race as Shaw possibly made a mistake or something. He's down but 5/10 behind down there in second. Barely just noticed that happened. Robbie here still trying to fight on through for this position right now. He's not giving up at this point. It's a 3:10 gap between him and the AlphaTauri in front with Walker there. And he's still pushing on through for this. He looks like he might stand a pretty good chance using the slipstream and a bit of DRS advantage to try and get that position back. Let's see if he's able to do though. He's going to push it around the outside. Takes a long way around, but looks like he gets back to position and is able to hold that Walker at least for now. So he's back up into P4. Walker's down to 5th. Cody's still following these guys. They're in 6th. And a few more gap down in the back there. Anton, they're in 10th. Oh, and get a bit of wheel contact happening. And that pushes both drivers off track there between Walker and Robbie there. That might be someone at fault. I definitely think that's going to be reported towards the stewards to have a look at it, what exactly happened there. Might have been a bit of foul play on that one there. And it looks like Walker loses his entire front wing though. And both of them now losing a lot of positions getting on through this race. Out in front, let's back a look at our previous race leader here. Drafter now down into 2nd. Mr. Rich leading this race. Both of these guys with 3-second penalties. Mikey there, 3.8 seconds behind them. No penalty for him. Stands a pretty good chance of possibly winning this race, but he needs to push a bit more than what he's currently doing there right now. 4 seconds behind them. So let's see how that works out. 3:10 is the gap is between those two running out in P1, P2. Gonna start to run out of laps here pretty soon. Looks like Robbie's retired from the session. He's retired in the pits. He's out of this race. That leaves us with 14 drivers now out of the 19 that we actually had start the race there. Okay, so it looks like Mr. Rage gets another penalty here. So that's 6 seconds for him now. So he is standing a pretty good chance of not winning this race against Drafter just because of that 3-second penalty. Let's see how this works out. Mikey trying to keep up with these guys as much as he can, but still about 4.2 seconds behind. 4/10 is what the gap is out front here. Where is Entex here at the moment? Chasing after Anton at the moment, trying to get up another position. He's currently 8th on the grid. Using that slipstream as much as he can. He might definitely push it on the inside here. into turn 1. It looks like he does get that position up here, but still side by side with the McLaren as they get on through. The McLaren goes wide, still comes back on track, and he's going to push on through for that overtake as much as he can. Both McLarens behind of him now, still trying to fight him for P7, and he's holding on through. He has the inside into the next turn. Let's see if that's going to work for him or not, but he's under a lot of pressure here right now. Both McLaren drivers coming together and trying to keep him behind. Looks like he's losing position to already one, might be losing position to another 8. He's not careful at this point here. He's at the moment stuck between the two of them. Let's see how that works out for him. He's currently back up in front now, trying to keep the lead out there in P7 against both these McLarens. Draft out in front there, back up into the lead, and gets a fast lap once again, so he's finding back some pace. Hopefully he doesn't make another mistake and lose that lead again. Still can possibly win this race with Mr. Rage here getting second, but looks like he might go down to third with Mikey currently running 4.8 seconds behind. Got to watch, see what that gap is going to be close off to the end of the race as it is right now. So the McLaren drivers fighting for positions right about now. Anton currently 8th, Maddie currently 9th. Let's see who's faster than who at this point here and what's going to happen as we get on through. Chris there in 6th, though. A lot of penalties, 12 seconds so far, along with Christian in their same situation. We got a bit of contact between the Alpine and the McLaren here, fighting it for 7th. And Texas pulls back through, and he's trying to get back on the inside and keep back that position, but loses it for now. Looks like it's going to be Anton currently. They're still side by side going on through. Let's see how this is going to play out. Maddie behind of them, just watching on what's happening between these two at the moment here. But quite an interesting battle between them for P7. I think NTXJ under a lot of pressure right now though, because having to fight off 2 McLarens at the moment here. I think one almost going just a bit wide. As I said, I think they're fighting each other for positions here as well, as they're only a 10th off, less than a 10th behind each other right about. It looks like Maddie now gets up a position. He's going to go after NTXJ out in front, see what's going to happen. See what's happening out front at the moment. So Mr. Rage and Draft here, 8-10 gap between them. He is of course still within DRS range, getting a bit more sunny out as we can see right now, not overly cloudy, so enough grip on track to go off to the final 10 laps in this race at the moment here. See how this works out for them. So we still have a few gaps under a second, so we know some of these cars still have DRS advantage as they get on through with this. Gap is now about a second between Draft and Mr. Rage for that lead. Mikey getting back out to the pits. Let's see where he does get back out. We got a full safety car here right about now. As Mikey gets out of the pit, this is going to be really interesting, because if everyone else decides to do a pit stop, he just did a stop, went on to a set of soft tires here, and with no penalties right about now as well. Let's have a look at tires and see what these guys are going to decide to do. We got a full safety car for some reason on track. I think Walker's out of the race here right about now, and this might have happened just somewhere right around here. I think his car right just disappeared from the right hand side of the track, if anyone just noticed that. So he's out of the race right about now. That puts Tucker up into 13, with 13 drivers remaining to finish off the Austrian Grand Prix. Currently into lap 27, we should have at least about 6 to 7 laps of racing currently remaining after that safety car goes in. At least about 6 laps of remaining after the safety car goes back in. Let's see if this is going to trigger some pit stops or not, and it did trigger some pit stops. I think out in front, because Draft and Mr. Rage both already stopped. Actually, I think they stopped before the safety car did not here. So they're going to continue on through. Mikey's going to continue on into P3 there, because I think Chris might take a stop here. He is going to take a stop. What happens to the rest of the drivers? We do have NTXJ taking a stop there as well, so quite interesting enough. Draft, Mr. Rage, and Mikey all took their stops already, and they're back out on track running in the same positions as they were before. Oh, that's a second safety car here in the session. That might be our final one, because we only have a few laps left after this safety car goes in. to finish out race. About 6 laps or so. We should be back racing around lap 30 hopefully. We're gonna see how that is going to work out with there. So far as we have it, we've lost a few drivers here. We've lost Walker, Robbie, Scooby, Chirpy, Beefy and Neil from the session. Neil being disqualified for whatever reason, Beefy being out of the session pretty early off there as well. And then we got 13 drivers left in this as we have it right about now. Draft currently leading the race with Mr. Ray. They're currently second. We have drivers with penalties, of course. We'll have a look how the penalties will affect the race down at the end. Mikey here standing a pretty good chance of now winning this race. Cody there running P4, Red Devil in P5, Chris in 6, Maddie 7, NTXJ currently 8. We got Anton currently 9, Vintage currently running in 10, Albo currently running 11. We got Christian currently 12, and Tucker currently 13, even though he's about a minute behind. He should be able to catch up in terms of the gap that he currently has there before the safety car goes in. So we'll see what's going to happen. They're about to go into lap 29. We should be back racing hopefully by the end of lap 29. We'll see what's going to happen here. That'll give us possibly about 7 laps of racing to go. Also guys, let's have a quick look at position changes from the start of the race coming on to this point. So it looks like Red Devil has gained the most positions so far. Of course, we'll have to look at penalty situation to see what's going to happen. Might be between Red Devil and maybe Chris for driver of the day. We'll see what's going to happen with that situation as it works. But I think a lot of penalties there for Chris. I think it was. Let's have a look. Yep, it's a 12-second penalty for him. 12 seconds for Christian. We got 3 seconds for the race leader there for draft. Mr. Raid 6 seconds. We got Mikey, no penalties. So that's why I said he stands a pretty good chance of either finishing second in this race or possibly even taking the win away from draft. This depends on what the gap is going to be and if he can get past Mr. Rage on that safety car restart. Over there, 3-second penalty. We'll see how that works with him. Possibly could get onto a podium position. It just depends on what happens, how this all plays. So safety car is going to be in at the end of this lap. We're going to have 7 laps of racing to go before the end of this race. And then we got Chris there, currently 6. Maddie, no penalty in 7th. NTXJ in 8th, no penalty. We got Anton in 9 seconds of penalties. Vintage in 10th, no penalty. Christian 11, 12 seconds of penalties. Albo there 12th with 6 seconds of penalties. And Tucker in 13, no penalties as we're about to get back racing here right about now. And let's see how this is going to work on the restart going on through. So going into turn 1, let's see how tight that's going to be between Mikey and Mr. Rage here. Cody, of course, coming just behind of that in the Aston Martin as well, chasing after the Ferrari. Let's see if he's able to get an overtake done. Looks like he's very close to actually getting that done right now. And looks like he's looking for a gap to possibly take it on the inside at this point here. I think Mikey is a bit more focused on getting past Mr. Ray, but has to keep Cody behind him if he wants a chance of finishing on the podium itself here. Let's see how that's going to work. Cody, of course, has a 3-second penalty as well. Out in front, draft pulling away by almost a second right now against Mr. Rage. And he has that 3-second penalty, so he's going to try and pull away as much as he can, even though he knows the car behind him. He has only a 6-second penalty, but still doesn't know if Mikey has a penalty as yet or not. So he needs to be kind of careful in terms of that as we get on through this final few laps of this race here at the Red Bull Ring. Cody, of course, getting another penalty right now. That's 6 seconds for him. Mikey in a pretty good position there in P3. Got draw fastest lap so far, 105.2. And that's race pace time there, at least here for now. He's going to hold on to our fastest lap. And Xavier in P8 trying to gain the position off of Mandy, trying to gain a position off of Chris at the moment. So let's see if that's working down in the midfield of the grid, because he's trying to push it around the inside. Not as yet able to get that overtake done, so let's see on board what's happening with that. We'll of course have Chris chasing after Red Devil in front of him. And a pretty close gap he's currently getting. It's getting a bit cloudy coming down to the end of this race here. Highly doubt we might get any drizzles at any point, but I think it's just going to get a bit cloudy getting on through, which means track temperature is going to be a bit on the low side that is of course going to reduce the grips of the tires there on the car. So let's see if that works out. You're going to have to be extremely careful, especially on that final chicane getting around to the start finish straight, as they did have some trouble during the qualifying session. Got a 2:10 gap right now between an Aston Martin and the Alfa Romeo, and he's going to go for it down into the next lap, into lap 32. And actually holds it back, doesn't actually want to take the chances yet. He's going to just line him up. The Alfa Romeo goes wide. Gets back on track though, but let's see if that works out. Got the Alpine of NTXJ and Maddie in the McLaren. They're fighting out behind for P7 still, about a 10th between those two. See what's happening down in the back here as they're still fighting for positions right now. DR's advantage to the Aston Martin of Chris here as he's now pushing around the outside. It looks like he's going to get overtake down against Red Devil. He gets that position away quite easily there. Took away another 3-second penalty. So Red Devil up a position into P5. Chris is down to 6 right now. Got Matty there trying to get past NTXJ. Looks like he's not getting any much luck with that. And this is going to cut it quite close. You got Chris trying to get back his position right now from Red Devil. Let's see if that's going to be possible or not. That's a 2:10 gap. The Alfa Romeo going a bit wide. He's trying to push back for it into turn 1. Let's see if it's going to go side by side here. And we do have the Alpine of NTXJ coming behind of them. Takes it on the inside. Looks like he does get the position. But they're still a bit side by side getting on through this. We do have that Alpine trying to go side by side now. And it's about 3 cars wide going into the next turn, fighting for that position. Looks like NTXJ actually gets the advantage. He gets up and he's still side by side with the Aston Martin to fight for this. Cody out in front, hopefully trying to avoid all of this right about now. It's about 4.4 seconds ahead. Do have NTXJ still on the outside trying to fight around the Alfa Romeo down behind, with both McLarens chasing after him there at the moment. So not too good of a point on that. We still got these two guys side by side. A bit of contact between them. The Alpine spins around after that contact, and we have the Aston Martin off track. He hits the signs on the side of the track here. Spun around. He's now the wrong way, trying to get back going. And unfortunate for both drivers there. Now spins back around, so they lost quite a few positions. Let's get back out here now with Albo now chasing after both McLarens in front of him. Let's see what that's going into lap 34 at this point here. I think the McLarens might actually be racing each other in this race here as well, because Matthew holds on to P6, Anton in 7. It's about just about a few tenths between them as Albo now gets in between. We do have Matty chasing after Red Devil out in front. He's now on the inside trying to get an overtake down against him here. And looks like he might actually have gotten that position away. He is now up into 5th, and I think he's going to hold that on through. Cody out in front, trying to get past Mikey, who's trying to get past Mr. Ridge. We'll have to have a look and see what that's working out with them. Carter Williams of Albo still trying to fight for positions here, still side by side with Red Devil, and I think these battles are going to continue on all the way down to the end of the race. Albo up into P6, Red Devil back down to 7th. It's only a 10th between them as they continue on fighting for positions here in the midfield. It looks like the Alfa Romeo of Red Devil gets a bit off track there, tries to avoid contact I think with the McLaren, and that happens. Now into lap 35 and going here. Let's get back out in front now with our top 3 and see what's happening. It's a 7:10 gap between draft and Mr. Rage for the lead. 3-second penalty for draft. Mr. Rage 6-second penalty. You got Mikey with a no penalties and a 3:10 gap between him and Mr. Rage. He's currently within 3 seconds of the race leader at the moment. If he keeps this up, he definitely is taking the race win away from the Williams driver here. Would not be a bad win for him as well, because he's keeping the gap down as much as he can and has been a bit of an advantage to him with that safety car that happened just a few laps ago there. So let's see how much longer he's actually able to keep this up. 4:10 to the gap is to the Aston Martin behind of him, so he needs to keep that car behind, because that car does have a 6-second penalty as well. Because he's right now, I think, a bit focused on getting a race win here at Austria. So let's see if he's able to pull this off. Looks like Mikey has gained 3 positions from the start of this race to this point where he is here right now, and he might actually be able to get this into the final lap of the Austrian Grand Prix as Ralph still leads. Mr. Rage still in second, still with the penalty situation as it is. It's a 9/10 unless gap between race leader Draft and Mikey there in third. Definitely looking at Ferrari getting a race win here this evening for the Austrian Grand Prix. So let's see if that's actually going to happen as they get on through. Still at least about 18th as they finish off the final sector here right about now. And we're on with the race leader here. Still with that penalty, a 5-10 gap to Mr. Ray down behind. This gap has closed down quite a bit as we come along to the final turn as they get on back to the start finish straight. And Drop goes across the line. P1 Mr. Red goes across the line second, but the switches are wrong because of penalties. Mikey takes the win for the Austrian Grand Prix. Not a bad finish for him. Drop takes second place on the podium. Mr. Red finishes third on the podium. Cody will take fourth at the moment. We got Maddie taking fifth. We got Albo taking 6th. We got Anton takes, oh, that's a bit of a switch up there. Vintage goes up to 6. Albo takes 7. Anton takes 8. We got Entex J taking 9. Red Devil takes 10 so far. Looks like that's going to hold at the moment. Precision takes 11th. And we should have Chris coming across the line for 12th and Tucker taking 13th on the grid. I think he's done a lap behind. So I'm not sure if, oh, he is coming along there right about now. So should be finishing up pretty soon. And tries to get across. And unfortunate for the drivers that could not finish the race, but 13 drivers finishing off the race. Let's see who did get driver of the day on down, but quite an interesting race. A lot of battles, especially in that second half of the race, going all the way through down to the end. And I think it was well fought there from Mikey getting that win. Vintage takes driver of the day. So Ferrari getting a race win here at Austria and getting a driver of the day for the team as well. Not too bad so far. So there we have it. Mikey gets across the line P3 but takes the win because of no penalties there here. So race winner for Austrian Grand Prix there goes to Mikey. Draw finishes second on the grid. Takes fastest lap even though he got across the line P1. Mr. Rachel got across the line second. Had to take third because of a 6-second penalty. We got Cody finishing 4th. We got Maddie finishing 5th. We got Vintage takes 6th and driver of the day. We got Albo takes 7. We got Anton taking 8 on the grid. NTXJ takes 9th. Red Devil takes 10. Chris 11. Precision takes 12. And Tucker there takes 13th on the grid. The rest of the drivers unfortunately were not able to finish the race. Bit sad on that note, but still 13 of 19 drivers finishing off the Austrian Grand Prix. Not a bad finish here for Slipstream Racing League. That was round 10 there, guys. We're going to be having quite an interesting one coming up next week at Portimao, so looking forward to that one. And thank you guys for joining on the session here. And yeah, so definitely looking forward to the Portuguese Grand Prix next week. We'll see what's going to happen in that case, how much practice the guys have had on the track. As we all know, those of you who had actually run a few laps on it, it is a bit tricky on some portions, some turns on that track. I had a few laps myself, so going to be a lot of fun to see how the guys handle it in terms of the full qualifying with the race and everything coming up next week. So we'll get on to that. Thanks you guys once again for joining on the session. We'll see you guys on the next stream.